Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages and Star Wars collectors, this is the Not So Vintage Nerd. So we're gonna take a look at this Ahsoka a series Sabine Wren action figure. Of course, this is my first ever review of an action figure. I'm gonna focus on the vintage collection. This is the range that I'm most interested in, and sometimes there's good, sometimes there's okay, sometimes there's disappointing and disappointing. I mean, and sometimes there's Darth Vader and Cad Bane, aka excellent. Sabine is a really special case for me because it is the first ever Sabine vintage collection release. Maybe it's just gonna be there will be a second one with the ghost. Who knows? But maybe at the time of recording, the ghost won't have this extra Sabine with the mural on the card back. Who knows? Maybe there will be another Sabine Wren along the way, with a proper card back. But this is a so-called deluxe release. So basically, more expensive, more accessories, and of course, a more reason to be maybe angry with the price. Who knows? Because in Canada it's quite expensive, almost well, pretty much over $40 for this release. Again, 3 and 3/4 inch. It hurts, but yeah, as you can see, this is the box. Pretty cool art overall. I mean, of course, it's the prototype, and you can see the helmet up there. Yeah, it uses the helmet. On the side, you have the art with the paint spray tool. So that's another thing. And she's holding the helmet on this one. And on the back of the box, you get to see all the accessories. You got a load cat, you get the lightsaber, you got the gun, you get the paint spray tool, you get the bag as well, and the helmet, and of course the figure itself. So yeah, sorry, forgive me for the focusing, and of course you have the art with the lightsaber. Strangely enough, only on the Hasbro website you can see the elephant in the room of this action figure release. So yeah, and essentially we're gonna take a overall look at the product itself, and of course come up with the final verdict. I think I'm the first to cover this figure. It's just quite surprising, really. I would expect our friend Bossk Bounty to cover it, but it's not the case. Yeah, but it is what it is. So we're gonna take a look at the accessories, of course, sculpt, painting, articulation, and of course the elephant in the room. And yeah, and here we have Sabine Wren herself, and of course with all of the accessories included in the packaging. So we have is here the load cat, which is going to be kind of cute for those who are owning the Ghost in the upcoming months, because Ezra Bridgers, for those who actually back the Ghost, well, it will be included, so that's interesting. She has a bag, so she can actually wear that. That's pretty cool. The extra hilt for the lightsaber, Ezra's lightsaber, by the way, so that's a plus. The lightsaber itself as well, same hilt, pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I'm sorry, the camera it might need to focus just a little bit. Again, first ever review, so yeah, this is the hilt. Again, it's a modified version of the lightsaber, apparently. So, and of course, you have the extra hilt as well. So, yeah, they are pretty much similar in many aspects. So, of course, she has a peg on the belt, so you can actually fit her with the lightsaber, of course, with the whole thing. And of course, she has the Wellstar 35 blaster pistol, which are pretty much the same as Bo-Katan Kreese, and pretty much any of the Night Hole of Mandalore. So, if you're a Mandalorian collector, I suppose Sabine will be one of your main Mandalorian to collect, because it's the first time that she is done in the vintage collection right there. And then we have the elephant in the room right there, the helmet. So a lot of controversy before the figure even came out. The helmet is way bigger than it's supposed to be, and mine has a little bit of a crooked going on. Basically, the painting is not exactly right, as you can see right there. So a lot of problem with the um, quality control. I guess that's the result of plastic-free packaging. Of course, that's the problem when you buy the deluxe release of action figures. That's not great. But yeah, it's still a pretty cool. The helmet, the shape is fine. The details are almost accurate to the live action show, which I did not watch. I'm just looking at the product itself as it is launched in the market, because I'm sure a lot of people will want this Mandalorian, but it is what it is. But yeah, you just need to see what's going on with Sabine right there. The helmet. I mean, what the hell? I'm sorry, guys. This is not good. Of course. So you can see the problem, right? Yeah, you can see it's way bigger, and this is something that Hasbro is trying to correct going further into the vintage collection. All only swappable helmet and heads, hopefully, because this is not good at all. Um, of course, she has the rangefinder that is movable, so that's good. That's a point over the release of Bo-Katan Kryze, but yeah, it's not great. And then she has the bag for some reason, not painted, which is kind of a shame, really. And there's a bit of a symbol, I think, on the center, but of course the camera is not wanting to focus. Yeah, there's the Phoenix. So the Phoenix of the Rebel Alliance, so Phoenix Squadron. So that's a nice little detail, a nice little touch, really. And of course, you can place it on her if you wish. And yeah, normally in some of the footage, she has it on the left shoulder, but you can place it on the right shoulder, no problem. So there it is. So of course, it adds a little bit of weight to the figure, so it's not the best thing ever, really. But it fits. It fits. It's fine. Speaking of the whole weight and standing, the peg holes for Sabine, regarding if you want to stand, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So no problem with that. I'm sure our friend Only One Kenobi uh, will be happy with that. And take a look at the love cat. I was gonna say lol cat. Um, so yeah, as you can see, there's a bit of a hole right there. There's a bit of a gap. That's natural, because if I can try to give you an idea, basically it's supposed to be a double barbell for the head of the lost cat. So yeah, and the painting is not that bad. Of course, you can excuse it when it's an animal, but it is what it is. And of course, the small little thing that she has for the first time in the TVC, of course, the paint spray tool. So that's a neat little thing. Unpainted, of course, but it is what it is. All right. So of course, the big attraction, of course, is the figure itself. It's what you pay for, and of course, we're gonna take a look at the sculpting, painting, articulation, and see if it's worth your $40 at this point in Canada. And I'm sure that's gonna be the price point at some point in the US with the taxes and everything. It makes no sense, really. It is what it is. So for Sabine, that's actually interesting, because of course there's a lot of the modern articulation that you see in the vintage collection, which is of course the double barbell on the head, um, overall improvement of the on the hip articulation, and of course the rocker ankles. So we're gonna take a look at that. So basically, double barbell, as you can probably see with the head, it's a very small double barbell. It's so small, really, that I don't think you're gonna get a lot of articulation on this Sabine. That's really disappointing. So yeah, it's of course, and a weird placement for the neck, really. So that's kind of weird. Um, but yeah, it's not it's not great. It's not great the way that they designed this, in my opinion. But it is what it is, and just trying to fit in again. Like I said, this is the very small double barbell, so you gotta be careful with it. And my unit was kind of loose, by the way, in terms of the articulation for the head. So QC controls, be careful. So basically, sorry, that's gonna be side profile, but it is what it is. So yeah, as you can see, they try to get Natasha Liu Bautisto as close as possible, but it's kind of a mixed result. Even the grin on the left cheek near the nose is actually there. It's really surprising that they got this right. And of course, purple hair. So for the side view, it's not that bad. Um, but yeah, it's like the hair was um, sculpted and hatted on top. So that's kind of fascinating, really. And yeah, side view is not that bad. I don't think the face is quite there though. It's um for the chest paint, it's pretty good. It's pretty good overall. Of course, I'm forgiving a bit of the painting mistakes on the vintage collection, because of course it's a smaller scale, but it's quite detailed. And of course the shoulder piece, as you can see, it's wow. It's they actually got some details right there. It's pretty good. Um, and of course on the other side for the other paints, it's pretty good. As I said, I'm sorry if I'm putting it sideways. That's the first time ever I'm trying to do this. I don't have the equipment for that, but yeah, you can see the details. It's pretty good. Yeah, we're going to talk about the ends later, and there's a lot of small little things to discuss. Of course, small details right there. It's pretty good. There's a missing stripe on any unit. It's supposed to be kind of red here on the shin guard, but that's not the case. But the left boot is uh, quite accurate. I would say, in comparison to the Black Series, this Sabine is accurate, almost more accurate in terms of overall painting, which is pretty surprising, considering that the Black Series is more technically supposed to be more expensive in general, but you get more stuff in the vintage collection for some reason with the Deluxe release, again with all that stuff and the extra lightsaber hilt, and of course the lot cat that we talked about. uh this is just a mistake. This is really a mistake. But yeah, articulation, of course, like I mentioned, the double barbell on the head. So she can look far down like this. She can go up, not so much, which is really disappointing. Again, maybe because of the sculpting, so that's not good. So if you want to see her, yeah, it's pretty much the highest that you can go. It's not great. It's not great. So in terms of shoulder, the shoulder pads limits a little bit. That's supposed to be how the Mandalorian functions. Bo-Katan Kryze, of course, had the same type of things, so you can pretty much go without breaking it. That's gonna be almost a perfect pose. So let's see. Yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Um, so you can actually move backward like this, pretty good, and of course move forward like this, pretty good. And yeah, so that's the overall shoulder articulation. Of course, there's no butterfly joint. Don't expect that on these scale of figures. That would be surprising though if it happens. But who knows? Maybe quality controls. Yeah, shoulder articulation. Little past over 90. Just a little past over 90, which is pretty good. Depending on how much you trying to. And of course, there's a swivel. So it's fine. It's absolutely fine. What is not fine, of course, is the hand. So you only get a swivel for these hands. So gripping hand, but it's not great. It's not great. There's no vertical or side hinge for these small hands. Same problem with the Ahsoka Tano, but for a Mandalorian, that's not great. Even the underscaled Bo-Katan had vertical hinges for these hands. So yeah, not great. For the torso articulation, it's kind of weird because they place the articulation right there. So she can move back like this. She can go move forward a little bit like this. That's before we move there. So that's pretty much it is. Swivel, of course, no problem with that. We got a swivel and a bit of a side, but not that much. But of course, vintage collection. It is what it is. It can be better. It can be better. That is for sure. I mean, there's a not so limited, not so supposed to be unlimited character. I mean Vader, but it is who has more articulation. But it is what it is. She can kick almost 90 degree. Of course, get the usual printing. Of course, backward. It's kind of weird. It's not great. So yeah, she won't kick backward pretty much because you reveal the articulation. That's not great. So let's see, almost a full split, almost. It's fine. So the new style hips, pretty good. Tie swivel, of course, on each of them. So that's pretty good, as you can see. And of course, a knee. Yeah, some of the joints were pretty tight on my unit for no reason. So the knee pads will be downwards, right down like this instead of the Black Series where it's on the hips. So that's I think it's better, but it hides the joints a little better. That's the main deal. So yeah, as you can see, almost 90, pretty much 90 degree bends, which is pretty good. And of course, you get the swivel for the knee articulation, so it's pretty good. So yeah, basically that's fine. And of course, for the for the feet, you get that far, and you get this far ahead. Not great, but it's fine. And of course, for rocker ankles, you need it. And yeah, it is. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So you get the full rocker, full modern, except for the end. But it is what it is. So yeah, it's not the best version that we need. That's not the version that we wish we had. But it's certainly not the version that we all wish we had. I mean, Star Wars Rebels is a thing, but it is what it is. So this is the first time that we get Sabine in the vintage collection ever, and I think it's okay. But I think we can see how it goes with all the accessories in hand. That would be interesting, except for the helmet. I mean, the helmet is such a mistake, really. So there you have it. This is the Sabine Wren at the Vintage Collection Deluxe release, and I do mean to emphasize the so-called Deluxe release because I don't think it's a proper Deluxe. I mean, it could have been released on a standard overall card back at $25 or maybe $30, but this is not a Deluxe release. I don't believe that. But overall, I think the sculpting and painting overall is pretty good. It's pretty good, but I don't think it matches the price that we should be paying for the overall product. And as you can see right there, this is the pretty much the side next to her, the best release of 2023, the Cad Bane from the Book of Boba Fett. Of course, I wish that was the Clone Wars release, but we are living in a world where Disney is taking over, and we have the Star Wars Vintage Collection, of course, the Return of the Jedi Darth Vader with the Death Star 2 VC280, and of course on the for cabin it's VC283. VC280, I absolutely recommend that you get it. And if you love miniature work of art, even if you don't love Book of Boba Fett, and I don't blame you for that, of course this Cad Bane is pretty good. You can pass it out as a proper Clone Wars release, but this Vader, you need this one. You really need this one. Sabine, I think you can pass it on. If you love the Mandalorian characters, I think that's going to be great for you. If you love the Ahsoka show so far, maybe you want it. I don't know. But I don't think it matches the price that we are paying for this. So it is what it is. it's fine for release, but I don't think it matches the high level of expectation that we should be having for these kind of releases, especially now with the overall price that we pay. That's the big deal compared to the level of work that we got on Cad Bane and compared to the level of amazingness that we got with Vader. I don't think it matches with overall with Sabine, even though it's fine for what it is. It's not great, and of course the helmet pretty much wastes a lot of that goodwill in my eyes. So if you get a custom, that's pretty good. But even then, looking with Bo-Katan, where the helmet is pretty much the proper size and it's the swappable head with the pegs and everything, nah, it's not fine at all. It's a shame. The only one I will accept the removable helmet or mask, that is Vader, because it serves a purpose. Otherwise, swappable head, swappable helmet, please. So yeah, it is the not so vintage nerd with the first ever action figure review, and hopefully I will see you in a future video.